Hello.
So, different day, different car, which is a whole story and a whole video in itself, but we are back and we have got some questions that you guys are asking and we are going to answer them now. So, let's crack on without further ado. So, we'll start with, how long are you staying at your current location for? And the answer is, sadly, not much longer. So our jobs and our lease and everything here on the mountain finishes on the 11th of April. Did you have to organise each bit yourself, visa, flights, etc., or use a travel agent? It's a bumpy ride. So the answer to that is we did it all ourselves, completely no travel agents at all, which was pretty tough when the pandemic hit. So we got our, with regards to getting your visa, you just fill in forms for that basically, and then we booked our flights pre-pandemic for the end of April, and that was pretty straightforward. We had to also sort out our insurance. You cannot have a visa granted for longer than your insurance lasts. So if you want your full 2-year visa, you have to have 2 years of medical insurance when you land in the country. So that was something we had to sort out. Yeah, so it would have all been pretty straightforward. I think that and accommodation for when we landed would have basically been the main bits that we needed to sort out. So it was all going well until the pandemic, and then we had our flights cancelled 3 times.
Yeah, I think we got the third set of flights, but maybe we had them cancelled 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at that part, maybe it would have been more stress-free to have booked with a travel agent, but equally, maybe not. At least we were the first port of call and we were dealing with each part. So our next one is, are there shops, bars, etc. all part of the resort, or are you in a little village situation up there? So, it is a little village situation. It's called Village.
Yeah.
Our studio is in the lower village, and then we get the gondola or take the stairs up to the upper village, which is only a 5-minute walk or a 2-minute gondola. And up there is really not a lot. It's a very remote ski resort as far as we're concerned, isn't it?
Really, yeah, I think it's really remote. They're missing a trick.
So up there is, in the building where I work, which is at the foot of the ski hill, there is a canteen type thing and a desk to book ski lessons and a shop which mainly sells resort merchandise and ski stuff. And then next door there is a pizza restaurant, there is a bar, and there is a cafe. And on the other side there is a ski rental shop, and there are some hot pools, and that is literally basically it, isn't it?
Yeah, an extortionate general store.
Yeah, Nero's, very expensive.
And the pizza restaurant isn't very good either. I've never had a worse pizza from a place that says they're a pizza restaurant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad and it's sad. You think that our resort kind of skates by on its looks and its natural beauty, don't you?
Yeah, it's just all about skiing and that's it. It's a quiet resort, so I suppose that is nice for people who just love skiing and that's it. But we miss the €2 wine and the onion soup, just all the great stuff you can get in the Europe resort, don't we?
Yeah. So for reference, we've done a previous ski season at a little, that was in a little town in France, and at the bottom was a full-on town, and then dotted everywhere on the mountain was restaurants and bars that you could pop into on a whim, and there's nothing like that here. So we are currently now driving down to the local town, which is about 20 minutes away in the car, and that has got 3 supermarkets. It's got a few pubs,
A couple of pubs,
a few restaurants.
Yeah, a high street, which is nice.
Yeah, a few shops that you can get just general bits and bobs in, pharmacists. To give you a scale of the kind of remoteness we're working with, the hospital here has, 7 beds, we were told.
Yes.
So it is small, but the local town, by contrast to the resort, seemed huge.
Yes.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where all our kind of amenities are. So then we've got, when is the best time to apply for a visa? So the best time to apply for a visa, so the short answer would be when applications open again, because they are closed at the minute, applications for the IEC visa due to COVID. But under normal circumstances, back when we applied was in September 2019, and it really wasn't as hard as we had been led to believe, because I swear people were telling us it's like the hardest visa in the world to get.
Yeah.
And in our experience, it wasn't that hard, because we applied in September 2019 and we were granted it in October 2019, and we were not expecting that kind of timescale whatsoever. So it's not like getting a visa for example, Australia. You're not guaranteed it. You don't apply and pay the money and get it in that next half hour in your inbox. The first stage is kind of like buying a raffle ticket. You put your details in to a pool for your country. Each country has a certain number of people they can choose from the pool per year, which is on reciprocal agreements with that country. So there is a limit in the UK, and there does tend to be more UK applicants than there are spaces to be picked out of the pool. So the first stage is just kind of casting your hat in the ring and waiting to see if you get picked out, and then you get what is called an invitation to apply. It does tell you on the government website when you do it what your chances are of getting picked out. So when we did ours, it said that our chances were very good for getting picked out of that pool, and they were very good because we got our invitation to apply like a week later, and then we had to get all our documents together. You have to provide like a police certificate to show that you've got no criminal record, like a family form, and you have to include details about your mum and dad on that. What else? There was just like a few hoops that you have to jump through, and you have to provide
addresses for the past 5 years.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you have to provide them within 30 days, I think it is, or you forfeit your invitation to apply. But yeah, I'd keep an eye on the pools. They run through the year. I'm not sure 100% when they open and when they close, but if you apply towards the end of when they're going to close for the year and they have not picked all their applicants for the pool, which I believe was our case in September, then you might be in with a better chance. So we've got a couple about what our jobs are and what exactly do you do for your jobs and how are you finding them. So we've already kind of covered that in the first bit, but shall we say how we're finding them?
Yes.
So I'm finding mine pretty enjoyable, really. Like, it's better than my last few jobs, so I can't complain. It's nice working in a team of like similar people, as in all girls, similar ages, and get some funny moments. So there was a guy that came up to my window and just went, this poor unassuming guy, it had been snowing heavily the night before, and he just went, "Whoa, did you have a huge dump last night?" Meaning a lot of snow, but obviously like potty humour, can't resist. So I don't know what my face must have done, but he looked so embarrassed for the rest of that transaction. And then as soon as I gave him his ticket, I was trying to give him a little spiel of like what to do with it, and he just like laughed and walked away. And it's also great for the old self-esteem, because Canadians are really friendly. Like, assholes are universal, and don't get me wrong, you still get them. But like, people can still be rude and still be abrupt and etc. But on the other hand, this is something I've not experienced anywhere else in the world. You can do the simplest thing for someone ever, and they're like, "You're amazing, you're awesome, you're great, you're cool." And it's just like, yeah, you're welcome, anytime. I can hand you that envelope anytime. And I've met quite a few people from Leeds/Yorkshire as well, or quite a lot of people with Yorkshire roots, which is nice to have a little chat to. Met a man who was born in Horsforth. How random was that? And yeah, met like a guy from Barnsley who very much sounded like he was from Barnsley, despite the fact he's been here for, I think he said 20 years. And the CEO was round the back at one point and asked where my accent was from, and I told him. And he was like, oh yeah, my grandma was from Blackpool. I was like, how's your grandma from Blackpool and you're now president and CEO of a huge Canadian ski resort? But yeah, the short answer is I am enjoying mine. I mean, I'm never like a die-hard, absolutely love work, would rather be there than having a day off type of person. But yeah, it's enjoyable. How about you, Mike?
If that's the bar, then I am enjoying the job, because I don't enjoy any jobs I do. I am very much a sit up and relax kind of guy.
Take note, future employer.
It's very easy. They make it stressful at first, but once you get into it, it's quite fun. Like, I have a bit of a like dark humour, so whenever someone falls over, I laugh, which lightens the mood for everyone, and then I help them. And it's quite a fit job, so I get to get fitter rather than just sitting around in an office all the time. But yeah, it's really fun.
You get on with your colleagues as well, don't you?
Yeah, they're all, you know, similar people, same age, that kind of thing. Well, not always the same age. I'm older than I thought I was.
I'm younger than I thought I was in mine. And then we've got, how did you choose Vancouver and can I come move in? Just for clarity, we're not currently living in Vancouver. We flew to Vancouver and we quarantined in Vancouver, and then we had a week there, and now we are in the Canadian Rockies in BC. But we chose Vancouver, and under normal circumstances we wouldn't have come here. We would have just gone to Vancouver and applied for jobs there and stayed there. And it appealed to us because it's like consistently rated one of the best places to live in the world. It's like a city with beaches and forests and mountains, and yeah, there's like the whole shebang there. There's the sea, there's the greenery, there's the nature. We did actually have a pros and cons list at one point, do you remember?
Yeah.
Between whether to go to Vancouver or Toronto. But ultimately, I think we thought, because we wanted to go to one of the big ones, like we wanted to, you know, go somewhere that we'd heard of. And with Toronto, we're a bit like a city to city to city, wherever you are in the world. If you're in a big city, that is what it is. Whereas Vancouver had the kind of Canadian elements to it.
Although I am missing a city right now. I don't know why. I always miss what I don't have. Grass is always greener, you know.
As soon as it gets to Vancouver, he'll be wishing that we're there. Yeah.
It's all so busy. The air sucks, that kind of thing.
So that was just a brief intermission there while we went and got our Tim Hortons. Because, truth be told, I wanted to finish this so that I could post it, but our studio is not the best backdrop for videos. Also, we needed to test drive this car. Also, we needed to try out some more Tim Hortons. How is it?
It's great.
This hot chocolate is great as well.
It's just a grilled cheese sandwich. It's American.
And this is a box of tiny little donut bites, and there were 6 flavours. So I got all of them. Can I have a bite?
Mm-hmm. Look at our Tim Hortons haul. We're branching into a food porn channel. You know, noises like as we eat.
You really have warmed to the camera, haven't you?
Mm.
But yeah, in short, that is why we chose Vancouver. And yeah, of course you can come live with us, babe. Anytime. And I expect you to return the favour if we come through Boston. But I mean, with Canada in general, neither of us ever been before, so we were kind of shooting blind. Like, it just appealed to us out of the places that we knew, which were those 2 places, basically.
And it was great. But we don't miss it now, do we? So it's like...
We did at first, because I fell in love with it.
Yeah, true.
And then when we got here, it was really hard. But now, I'm like,
yeah,
city life, who needs it? Look at these views.
Yeah, when we got here, there was one store open for 2 hours a day, and we were made to stay inside our apartment. So I suppose you can see why.
And our apartment isn't very nice. Hence, the car filming. What is the plan for after? So, that's a very good question.
Well, please tell us.
Yeah, we had a better answer to it about 2 weeks ago, and now we've muddied the waters, haven't we?
Yeah.
So, when we first got here, I was desperate to turn around and go straight back to Vancouver as soon as possible, because we'd gone from a big bustling city in a really nice little like townhouse Airbnb to a one-room studio that is not very nice. Like, it's fine, but our first one was. We have moved since we got here because our first one was horrible.
Horrendous.
And like, as Mike says, nothing was open, there was nothing to do, skiing wasn't open, there was no one to make friends with, like, there was just nothing, and I was like, it's not for me. But now we've got into the swing of things, and things have opened, and we've met people, and work started, and skiing started, and we love it.
We do. It's
Like,
really
it's
nice.
so
Like,
gorgeous.
it's way better.
Yeah.
It's
Now we're thinking, like, where's the rush to get back to Vancouver? Because it is gorgeous and it does have all these nice things, but it's still a city. And by coming here, I feel like we have experienced a lot of, like, true Canadian stuff that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. Like, we see deer every single time we come down the mountain. Like, there's stunning views in every direction, including, like, when you do your weekly shop, when you're skiing, when you're going to work, everything. There's frozen lakes to walk and skate on, and like, yeah, I just feel like we're getting a bit of the Canadian experience we wouldn't have got if we'd have gone to Vancouver and set up in Vancouver and stayed in Vancouver.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly with that.
Yeah. So I was talking to my colleagues, and some of them work on golf courses here in the summer, and the job to have sounds like beverage cart or cart girl, which basically means driving around on a golf buggy serving beer to golfers, which sounds like the absolute dream job. You get tipped for it, and like, beer sells itself. That's not, no one's gonna get annoyed with you for that. Like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna be a customer service nightmare. They want the beer, you've got the beer, everyone's having a nice time. So that is like quite high up there. Like, there's jobs that Mike could do as well. I think he might want to try his hand at being a cart girl as well.
I wouldn't mind it.
But yeah, it just sounds pretty good. Like, think High School Musical style golf courses / if you watch Modern Family, it's literally like Hayley's job that she had for 2 episodes in Modern Family. But on the flip side of that, one of my very good friends has just got engaged, and her wedding is gonna obviously not be in Canada, so it looks like it's gonna be either at home or in Portugal. Either way, need to get back to Europe, so it'd be good to have some money under my belt. And if you want to stay in Canada after your 2-year visa, which we've not been here that long, but definitely not ruling it out, like, it's so nice that I might. If you want to stay after your 2-year IEC visa has ended, one of the ways to do that is to apply by what's called express entry. So in order to apply for express entry, you have to have a certain type of job that goes in a certain type of job role category for at least a year to help with your points. And part of me is thinking, like, why not do that now? Why not get that out of the way sooner rather than later? And maybe, like, postpone the golf job, especially because I do want to do that at some point. It sounds so fun, and I just want to live and work somewhere like absolutely breathtaking again. As I say, I'm not in a huge rush to get back to the city, and I want to experience like all that summer has to offer around here, with the lakes and the hikes and the wildlife that'll be out there. But maybe that would be better, hopefully, when COVID is less of a thing, because we are kind of missing out on a lot of the like social aspects of the seasonal job at the minute, so we don't really want to do that again in summer. So yeah, basically, short answer, the routes are do some kind of seasonal role, maybe on a golf course, where the aim would be to live and work somewhere gorgeous again, or head for a city, possibly Vancouver, and get a proper job for at least a year, which would save some money to go towards the wedding, among other things, and potentially help us towards an express entry application afterwards. So the next one is, what happens when your visa runs out? Are you allowed to stay in Canada? So we are still very early days yet. It's a 2-year visa, so it's a while away yet. However, there is the option to stay after on another visa, such as, it's called a permanent residency. Like, it's called getting permanent residency, but it's not quite as permanent as it sounds, because all it actually means is you get the you're able to live and work here for another 5 years before that one would expire. And that goes with the express entry that I just spoke about. However, I really don't know the ins and outs of that myself. But yes, that's a possibility. You can also get just a visitor visa, so we wouldn't be eligible to work anymore, but we would be able to travel, which we are probably thinking we're going to do that, aren't we? I don't know if it's a 3-month or a 6-month thing that you get.
I can't remember. I feel like it's 3, but 6 also rings a bell.
As you can see, we're not too clued up on it, but it's not really on our radar yet. But once we finish, we do want to travel around Canada and then hopefully travel around America as well, like road trip. So yes, we will probably be trying to stay in the country in some capacity, be that visitor or another working visa, for at least a bit of travelling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, but we'll keep you updated as that approaches. Okay, and the last one is if Michael proposed with TJ the snowman holding the ring. All I'll say for this part is it's PJ, Pierre Jr. and Mike at the wheel.
So the question is, will I propose?
With PJ holding the ring.
Goodness, so I've got about a 2-month window to get that sorted, otherwise PJ is going the way of the snowman. Well, you'll just have to wait and see.
What a hook to get him to keep watching.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. But yeah, that is it. So that is all the questions that we got asked, answered, and hopefully it answered some of the unspoken questions about like what we actually do, how this actually came to be, and hopefully it's been illuminating and you've enjoyed it. We certainly enjoyed our transfer to Tim Hortons.
Oh yeah, we're going to go again. Might just turn around and go back again. Start filming the next vid.
So yeah, cheers for watching guys, hope you enjoyed it and see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.